I was going to decorate my truck for the little kids out in the communities. Yeah, hope the Tencel survives the journey. We don't drive through much rain. It looks pretty good, eh? Looks like Christmas.
Their office is the biggest island continent in the world, where just about everything goes by road. From east to west, top to bottom, and into the scorching dead centre. These mega trucks run day and night to get it delivered, up to 10 car lengths long. They're big enough and strong enough to carry just about anything from mega mining trucks to houses, whole herds of cattle, or just the mail. In this vast land down under, if the trucks stop, the nation stops.
Is it a drama to hook up? You have to pull it every second one.
At his depot in a Perth industrial estate, trucking company owner Matt Richo is feeling the pressure.
Tell those blokes, can we have access to their yard at 6 o'clock in the morning?
Richo's team is sweating on a quick getaway, on a trip to the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, me, Matt Richo.
His 6-truck convoy is heading for a cluster of tiny settlements in the middle of this central Australian desert, about as far away from civilization as it's possible to get. It's the last supply run of the year.
Everyone wants everything for Christmas, and we're running out of time now.
Shipping in food, bottled water, building supplies, and 6 portable homes.
I want you to build a crane at 17,000.
It's a big job.
I've got grief with it.
And the weather's closing in.
Long-range forecast is fine, but that doesn't mean
Richo has a business that's going places.
13 months ago I didn't have a truck.
Now he's got 7 trucks, worth more than $3 million.
Trying to make decisions on the run, and they're hard to make sometimes. Are you making the right one? Are you making the wrong one?
And the loans to prove it.
They don't understand how hard it is to make money out of this game, mate.
Richo takes on the routes the big companies won't touch. And if he fails on this one, his team could spend a lonely Christmas stuck in the wilderness.
We're going to do it. It's going to happen. Right up to someone gives me a sign in front of me saying road closed, it's going to happen.
With full tanks, each of these road trains carries 2,000 litres of diesel, more than 40 times the average car. Richo's fuel bill for this trip will be $20,000. If they can't get through because of flooding, that's money down the drain.
The roads might be still closed the other side of Warburton. We don't know yet. I haven't heard.
Monster rigs need monster engines. 15-litre brutes with the grunt of 600 horsepower. They average a kilometre per litre. Trips like this put them under maximum stress.
Chances are something will go wrong, you know what I mean?
On top of the cost of his own fleet, the biggest expense is this crane that's been rented to unload the temporary homes.
That crane is costing me $300 an hour, and that truck's costing me $200, and this truck's costing me $200, and the wages and all of that. That's a lot of money.
But it's not just money weighing on his mind.
Kate, it's Dad.
Richo blames the stresses of his trucking life for the recent breakdown of his marriage.
Dad's going out bush now, all right? So he won't be able to speak to you for a couple of days. Look after yourself and be good for Mum, all right? And be good this week, especially, because Santa's coming. Remember that, all right? Dad loves you. See ya.
Teeming summer rain is already playing havoc with the schedule of long-distance truckie Mark Belitho.
Oh, come on!
As he prepares for a marathon 5-day trek across the Australian continent.
Far out!
He'll be driving from Perth to Melbourne and back. That's 7,000 kilometres non-stop.
Why am I losing air?
We're just hunting our dolly and trailer down.
Mark will be sharing the wheel with Claire, his wife and driving partner of 15 years. She's trying to track down one of the trailers they'll be hauling, a consignment of car parts.
Because it's wet, but we have to, you know, mess around in the rain and just, yeah, sort of start the whole adventure all buggered up. This is the busiest day of the week here.
The worst day for a mechanical problem with a trailer that threatens to put them behind before they've even started.
So it's a bit chaotic, but we'll get there.
Trucking is a tough business with strict deadlines.
Oh, man.
Miss an important one without a good excuse, and the boss can lose a contract, the driver his job.
Wow, man. Oh. I don't believe this. I've got an air leak on the front axle on the back trailer and I can't move because it's losing that much air. You can hear it.
That's a good thing. Teamwork, man. He's a classic, mate. He is one funny dude, the old trickmeister.
The air's leaking out that much, I can't move. Rev it up. I'll be out of air soon.
The mechanic has managed to track down the problem and fix it.
All done? Or was it just a loose clamp?
The air hoses have knocked the friggin' drain plug. Just straight in the drain.
The truck will now run constantly for 5 days, with Mark and Claire using the two-up system. While one drives, the other rests. Then they swap so the wheels keep rolling. Truckies have a general rule of no hitchhikers, but Claire and Mark make an exception for their dog, Roy. He's family.
Our working relationship, we've always kept that pretty separate.
Mark was already a seasoned driver when Claire met him.
I didn't like Mark at all when I first met him. Not at all. It was not good. It was not a good meeting. And I thought, I don't know if
How bad's that?
I don't know if I can live with this dude, you know?
But his truck impressed her.
I said, oh, you know, I'd love to learn how to drive a truck.
And I said, if you really seriously want to learn, I'll teach you, but if you don't waste my time.
And here we are.
Mark's driving a brand new truck worth $300,000, and that's only for the prime mover. It's big business. With 2 trailers attached, the rig weighs in at just under 80 tonnes, sitting on 42 wheels. The front steering tyres cost $1,000 each and need replacing 4 times a year.
Oh my God. Another one. The house needs to be bombed, Gordo. That's the 4th one this week. Come on. Not in here. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Cockroaches. Yeah.
It was Outback Trucking that brought together another Perth couple.
Safeways have got the New Zealand Story fillets on for $12.99 a kilo.
Now Gordo and Shu spend more time in their truck cabin than they do at home.
This one here is the box that we take to work. Got the cup of soup, the la-la paper that you definitely need.
They're preparing food for a continuous 2-night, 3-day drive to the mining outpost of Karratha in northwestern Australia.
The food that you get on the road nowadays is crap. It's just crap. It really is crap. It is.
Once every couple of months we might have a toastie, what we call a toastie, an egg and bacon sandwich.
Egg and bacon sandwich or a ham and cheese, but not very often because, I mean, what is it, $10 for a toastie? You have to be really, really compatible because you do argue. I mean, you're with each other 24/7. This is my 2nd marriage, it's Gordo's 3rd, and 6 couples that we knew when we started. I think there's only 3 of us left. She always mess around the ear. It's like little cobwebs. Let me have a look at the other side.
When we got together, we were broke.
So we had to start again from scratch.
We've got ourselves a house and we've had a couple of nice overseas trips.
I've got this done and I'll organise it when you get down over there. It's hard work. It's the heat and the hours. Truck drivers have got a bloody hard job.
After their problems with the trailer brakes at the Perth depot, Mark and Claire are now 4 hours out of Perth and ready for their first driver change. It's been a good run so far, but there are signs of trouble up ahead.
Change over time, yep. Boss is behind the wheel now. All right then, ready for action.
You're heading into one almighty storm. Take it easy.
You too, keep it safe.
The Weather Bureau is warning of severe thunderstorms with hail, gale force winds and flash flooding. One of the worst storms to hit the area in years.
We've got water over the road in front of us in the next probably 20 minutes, and we're actually going into the storm now. We're driving into where it's going to get hairiest.
It's going to get dangerous, but Mark knows however hazardous the conditions are, he has to let Claire deal with it.
Being in the bunk, you're at the most vulnerable. Somebody else is in charge of the whole show. I'm not incredibly brave. I have a lot of trust in my fellow driver.
This is unbelievable. Wind's pushing the truck all over the road. Jesus Christ. Oh, this is dangerous stuff, man.
The combination of darkness, wind and heavy rain is a nightmare for any driver. But Claire is in a truck that weighs just under 80 tonnes and is travelling at 100 kilometres an hour.
This is severe shit, man.
Conditions are treacherous. Visibility is down to less than 10 metres.
I worry about the people that are coming towards me. This is when things can get pretty nasty. We keep going no matter what, you know, you've got to just keep rolling and do the best you can with what you've got.
The gusts outside could blow Claire's trailer clean over.
Oh, this is where a combination of no experience or not knowing the roads, not knowing your vehicle, you can come unstuck here really badly. This is serious weather. And there's water all over that road.
The water on the road risks rendering the tyre treads useless. One mistimed touch of the brakes could send the rig into an uncontrollable aquaplane.
It's unbelievable. I have never seen anything like this in 16 years. I have never known water to be out over the road out here.
You have to think about pulling over in a parkway.
Look at that, all this water. Never seen this. This is just unreal. Ooh, scary stuff. And you see the trucks have even pulled over. This is pretty unbelievable. We cheated death. We made it, brother. We made it. It's all good. It's all good. We are sticky side down and shiny side up. That's a good thing. It was just a great buzz. Your adrenaline's running, and it's moments like that that you really know you're alive. Beautiful. We've still got our back trailer on, so that's a good sign. Yeah, I love that. I love it.
She's exhausted after more than an hour battling to stay on the road.
Cup of joe time, brother. Cup of joe time. Shut it down now. there we go. All done.
On a deserted stretch of highway, heading to the far north of Western Australia, Gordo and Shu have pulled over for a driver swap.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Get rid of that. I don't like any of that crap up here. I like everything tidy. No. That. Give me my water. Put my water up here. It'll be all right.
I'm going to go to bed, go to sleep for a while.
There are only two real distractions out here. The occasional other motorist
Come on, put your lights down.
and stray animals.
You try to avoid them as much as you can, but if you can't avoid it, you just got to gently apply your brakes and hope to hell that when you hit it, you don't do too much damage to your vehicle. I mean, they're just unpredictable. They can stand in the middle of the bloody road and look at you and you think, oh yeah, it's going to go, and then it'll start to wander off. And what happens is it comes back on you. I've hit a camel, bush turkey. That was quite good. That was all over the bloody bull bar. We've hit a big kangaroo where its head came off and it's actually between the stone guard and the windscreen. And it's like Skivvy just looking at you with all the blood and the guts everywhere, and I've screamed, and Gordo's woke up and he said, what? And I go, oh, well, and he goes, I told you, no hitchhikers. We just pulled up. He just pulled up and he just pulled the roo by the ear and just threw the head away, you know, just took the, oh my God. You can see old heart going.
Shu has been in the seat for less than an hour when a truckie behind her alerts her to a problem at the back of the rig.
What was that, buddy? All right then, thanks a lot. No worries, you have a safe one, buddy.
Gordo's fast asleep in the bunk. She'll have to deal with it on her own.
Right, what the f***'s happened here? That one's in.
On a road train nearly 40 metres long, broken lights aren't a job that can be left for morning.
I've got no idea. Gordo.
Was the dolly on?
No, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
So it's up here then.
And nothing worked.
Turns out it's just a loose connection that Gordo can fix.
Thanks, that possum.
It's lost time, but safety always has to come first. 1,000 kilometres from Perth, on the edge of the central Australian desert, Richo's convoy has come to a standstill. The easy yards are over. The bitumen is about to end. It's going to get bouncy up ahead, so Richo wants the load checked one last time.
Is it all tight? Well, let's go. Oh, yeah, all tight, my ass. Seriously, Yeti, keep them tight.
At a mighty 6'5", Lane McKenzie's nickname is Yeti. At 21, he's the youngest of the crew.
Lane, E.G. Yeti. He's normally the general freight driver out there every fortnight, so he does this road every second week.
Yeti knows the road ahead, and although he's the youngest, he's not afraid to speak up.
We're going to have to wait like 20 minutes apart. There's no wind.
Huh?
There's no wind.
There's no wind to blow away the dust. Too much dust, and they run the risk of it clogging up the engines.
You just suck dust all day. Fill the air cleaner up with dust and then you choke the motor. But it's all right. A bit won't hurt.
The other drivers aren't so sure.
You're going to be aged. It's going to be like a pair of hardwood trails.
Get in the truck! Righto, you're going to see me do me block now. Get in the f***ing truck! Get in the f***ing truck! It's easy to go and get a truck. It's another thing to have someone to sit in it. It's hard. It's hard to find drivers.
Yeti may be the baby, but he's one of Richo's most trusted drivers.
As soon as I got old enough, got my road train license and started working for Matt. Yeah, been doing it ever since. Oh, every day you learn something new out here.
There's an operator and a steering wheel attendant. That's what I reckon. A steering wheel attendant. They don't get out of their truck. They just sit there and drive. But then you need operators. They're running big loads or heavy loads or something out of the ordinary. Like 2,000 k's of dirt through the guts of WA in the hardest road around.
Up north on the coast road, Shu's losing patience with a slower road train.
Try and read the signs what the guy's going to do in front of you. You don't know if he's going to pull into the parking bay or he's going to let you go. One of the two.
But overtaking in these elongated rigs is a tricky operation. And it's not helped by two fellow truckies tying up the CB channel.
Get off the radio and let me speak to the friggin' fella in front. They need this crap when you want to frickin' overtake someone. Pardon? Oh, I can't hear a damn word you're saying because these frickin' on the...
I said, drop it out overdrive so you got a bit of power when you get there.
The truck in front is pulling 3 trailers, making it more than 50 metres long.
No worries, buddy. I was just going to call you up. You know you've got a strap hanging there?
Yeah, hopefully it goes on the wheel. I've got one coming now. Got one coming now.
Oh, I got one coming, buddy. I'll wait.
Shu's towing 2 trailers. To get past safely at this speed, she'll need at least 2 kilometres of clear road.
Get around me.
All right, all right. I'll come round now, bud. Just on your back door.
Now she's committed, Shu will need to be on the wrong side of the highway for more than a minute.
Got this car coming. It's all right, buddy. I'm going back in. Yeah, I've just got to build it up again, bud. Just leave it. Where are you going, Ed? He can't even see what's coming over this hill, so I'm going to back off. Anyway, you sit back there, Possum. I'm in the driver's seat now, not you. Yeah, coming round now, buddy, on your back door. Thanks, you have a safe one.
is making good progress, but they'll still have to drive through most of the night to stay on time.
Have an hour off, have a feed, because it's going to be a long night. It's been a good day, mate, because everybody's truck's still running. Nobody's broken down. We're going all right. Steady, steady.
Oh, good. Give me a knife. I'm having a piece of steak.
The next day arrives, and so do the first signs of trouble. Overnight storms have streams starting to run. Several roads have already been closed. The convoy is moving at half speed. Next stop is the Warburton Roadhouse, 200 kilometres away. Yeti's truck is back in the lead, but it's been badly shaken up. A big hole has appeared in the exhaust.
Stay around. But the aircon's playing up as well, so got the old aircon 280, 2 windows down and 80 k's per hour.
The next stop is the convoy's last chance to get fuel.
Alright, once you go past Warburton, you know about it. That's where all our dramas are going to happen out there. Breaking down, flat tyres, getting bogged, the whole lot.
After that, there's desert and nothing else. A wilderness where anything can happen.
At the end of the day, the desert will do what the desert does. Full stop.
After their thunderstorm scare, Mark and Claire have made it on time to the edge of the Nullarbor Plain. A vast desert with no civilization, limited phone contact, and only a few fellow travellers.
You and Squeak hopping up here at Norseman, eh? Eh? All right.
Out here, it's more important than ever not to let your concentration lapse.
We're about 15 kilometres north of Norseman. Yep. Oh, what do we got here? Wide load. Sorry, how wide's that?
4 metres, I'm backing him down.
Okay. 4 metres wide at the wheels as well, so I don't want him going off the road, and showering us with stones. Just keep it from going off the road, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, you all right, matey? Have a good day, eh?
So far, little Roy's been the perfect passenger. But sometimes there are things that just can't wait.
Oh. Man. Okay, I'll try to... Oh, if I could get in there,
I know you can't.
That bridge is not going to carry the weight of this. Oh, little Roy boy needs to go to the toilet. And when he needs to go, we try and stop as quickly as we can. Hang on, dude. Sorry, man. If this could do 120, Roy boy, I'd do 120 for you, but I can't. But we're getting there. Here we are. We've got this little bit of a bay here. I'm slowing down as quick as I can, Squiggy. Come on, Squig, man. Good boy.
After a 1,700 kilometre trek from Perth, Richo's convoy has made it to the tiny desert community of Warburton.
Well, I'm just going to go and find out about these roads so we can make a decision about the roads, all right?
The trouble is, it may not be his decision.
Is it still closed?
It was yesterday, I don't know about today.
Roads can be officially closed out here by local authorities without warning.
Everyone's so pedantic.
Closed roads mean a whole lot more red tape.
Hey, listen, we're just trying to make a decision about the roads. Can you just give us an update on what's going on with it? Yeah, righto. All right, thank you. See ya. Shut. Impassable from Blackstone to Wingalina.
It looks like the end of the road for Richo and his crew. Claire and Mark are about to hit the endless straight of the Nullarbor Plain. No corners to worry about, just cars that don't understand trucks.
I've got a guy that's sitting really, really close, basically illegally tailgating me, and it's a tiring thing as a truck driver because you're having to drive for not only yourself but him as well because he can't see what's coming.
A car so close that Claire can't see him in her mirrors.
So if I blow a tyre or something like that, or something for some reason comes off the vehicle, it's likely to cause him serious harm. And yeah, he's just being a nuisance. And I believe he's got a UHF in his car. Got a copy behind the road train there in that gold sedan. Yeah, what do you want? You want to not tailgate me, Dale, please? I'd appreciate that.
We're trying to get around here, but your blinkers are not working.
No, my blinkers are working fine, mate, but it's been all double white lines there before town, and I'll get you round when it's safe. Yeah, what do you want? You know? Oh, well, I'm sorry that I'm actually trying to do you a favour here and stop you from getting hurt.
A courtesy right blinker from the truck signals to a car behind it's safe to overtake. But this driver isn't waiting.
Now you're overtaking me with somebody that's coming, and that's just even worse. But hey, you know what you're doing, you know? No idea. My blinkers aren't working, which means I wasn't telling them when they could and could not come around, even though it was double white lines.
Claire's still getting over the tailgater incident when the road throws up another test of her patience.
Come on, Brad. Don't let the side down, brother. Don't let the side down.
A slow car is holding up the truck in front.
Come on, boy. This person's a menace. A menace, I tell you. We've been trying to get around this car for approximately 80 kilometres. There's the boys in front, me, there's another truck behind me, a couple of cars, another 2 trucks behind him. Because we don't have the same acceleration as cars. You can't just put your foot down and go. You've got to sort of build it up, wind it up, we call it. Come on, Brad. It's very frustrating, but when you let it affect you and you bring emotion behind the wheel, it's a bad combination. It's never going to end well. Basically, you're in control of a weapon.
Claire's decided she's had enough. Now there's just the car to deal with.
The car in front of us now is telling me that they're going to cause me grief. And I don't even think they're aware that I'm behind them at this stage. And what they'll do is they'll do something really stupid like slow down.
The car might be able to stop, but it's not an option for Claire.
And now he's going to don't.
The driver seems oblivious to the fact that behind him is an 80-ton road train that has a momentum all of its own. Claire can't stop.
You do not slam your bloody brakes on at an amber light. They normally drift all over the road. You can see them like this, rubbernecks, where they're talking to their mate and they're not paying attention to what's going on up here. And he'll probably give me the stinky look later on if he catches me down the road here. You know, you get the look. They look up at you. Or they pick their phone up and say, I'm calling your boss.
600 kilometres northwest on the road between Geraldton and Carnarvon, it's not car drivers that are the worry, it's bushfires.
Floods I can deal with, I think, but bloody fire. As you can see, it's tinder dry here. It is, it's just, you know, and it's flat. So it'll just roar. It's the most horrific thing I've ever seen. A ball of fire like this come across a paddock, jump the road, and then just raise a paddock, a whole land area within a matter of seconds.
A bushfire alert has been issued for people and properties along the northwest coastal highway west of the Kennedy Range in the Shire of Carnarvon.
They say there's fire at Northampton, then there's high fire danger warning for Carnarvon area. You got no phone service, you got no radio service, so you pray and hope that any drivers that are going the opposite way to you will let you know the conditions that are that's on up here. So I'm hoping to Christ there isn't any fires out here because there's nowhere to run out here. I don't like the look of it over there. It's pretty bloody black over there. Mother Nature, she's got it on, she's got it on.
Gordo and Shu have been holed up in the cabin now for more than 24 hours.
You don't stop too often for a girly stop. You try to hold your girly stops until your two-up driver gets in your seat. When we first started, I just used to drive in a singlet and a pair of knickers and didn't realise that you're supposed to tell your two-up that you're getting out the truck. Thought I'd stopped, and I actually had the curtains shut, and I thought, oh, he stopped for a boy stop, so I'm going to go out for a girly stop. And I've just got out, walked into the bush, and I've heard a truck, and I thought, oh, someone's coming in. I better make sure that they can't see me. And then when I come back out the bush, here's Gordo driving off out of the car park. I had to wait until someone came in, and the guy must have just thought I was totally crazy because all he could see was this woman in her knickers and singlet running towards him, crying and screaming. And the first thing he said to me, he goes, "New on the job, aren't you?" And I go, "Yeah." He said, "First rule is," he said, "you always tell your two-up partner that you're getting out of the vehicle."
Out in the middle of the desert, Richo's trucks are at a standstill. Rain has washed out sections of the dirt road up ahead.
Both graders are down it, so if anyone gets stuck,
there.
you're stuck. Unless we go back and get a grader. I don't know what to do now with this crane.
The delay is already costing him money.
I need to go and ring Joseph at his house, the client.
Sitting idle is an expensive mobile crane he's rented to unload these temporary homes.
If that crane gets bogged, mate, it's $3 grand a day, possibly for 2 weeks. Probably 40 grand.
If he risks trying to push through, a lucrative run could turn into a financial disaster.
So if the triple won't go, there's no way we'll get the crane across there. What about the road? This gang is crazy. Absolutely crazy. It all hinges on that one road. What's that thing? It's not a bite. It's a pizza pocket.
Richo decides the rest of the convoy must keep moving. He'll stay behind at Warburton with the crane and send 2 trucks of perishable goods to see if they can get through.
Because if you get stuck or you break down, then just don't go home. If we're going to get a breakdown, it's on this part now. This is the roughest bit of the whole section. Next 140 k's is rough as.
It's not long before conditions start to deteriorate.
You only got to wait 20 hours and it dries out.
Patches of water suddenly become lakes of unknown depth.
Oh, here we go.
He's only 21, but yet he is already a veteran of the deep water crossing.
Slid out a couple of times, going too fast, but you soon learn. Just slow and steady out here.
There's no way of knowing what the road is like underneath. The rule is, once you commit, you have to keep moving. If you stop, you could be stopped for weeks.
That sucks. Water on my feet now. Shit happens.
You get through one, but there's another waiting.
Here we go. It's that hot in here, it dries out anyway.
The trucks make it through, but they've taken a hammering.
See if it starts. That's me foot to the floor and that's doing 1500 revs. Here, it misfiring. This thing's been leaking for ages. There's diesel everywhere under here. They're not good at all. I'm going to make a phone call.
Time to give the boss back at Warburton some more bad news.
Where are you now? Ah, sorry. Yeah.
Looks like they've lost a truck.
I'll camp a couple of k's out of town and then I'll pull up at the truck shed in the morning and do it.
We'll be right. We'll get through it.
Yeti will have to sit tight, camp out, while Richo organises a replacement truck.
It's too hot out there, so I just come and sat in here for a while. I can't do bugger all else, you know, my truck's not even running properly. You know, you heard it, it's misfiring and all sorts of shit, so I've still got to wait for this other truck. And yeah, it's just what happens out here. You can be here for 5 minutes or you can be here for a week.
Gordo and Shu are coming to the end of their 36-hour driving marathon. Australia's Outback truckies can spend up to 14 hours a day behind the wheel. With 2 drivers, they go around the clock. The cabin becomes their second home.
Okay, face is all done. Oh my God, how can you justify 69.5 million for Choggum? It's ludicrous.
I talk in my sleep. That's the worst part about it. It scares. And it scares the crap out of Gordo because I'll get up and I'll stand there and I'm real quiet. I don't realise I'm doing it and I'll go, "Are you right?" Scare the shit out of him.
Yeti's facing a long and hot wait for his new truck. The roadside temperature has climbed into the 40s. The freezers will be working overtime.
Yeah, it's like 40 degrees, eh?
And the news on the two-way brings no relief.
What do they mean?
They're still there and they can't get the other truck started.
The breakdown has already cost them precious time. With freezers packed with cold goods, sitting around in 40-degree heat isn't an option.
No, that truck won't start. That I'm supposed to pick up. I just hope this one makes it now. I know, just got to see how we go.
need to go lower. Without truck drivers, you just want to have anything in your house because everything is shifted by trucks. And it's a dying breed, truck drivers are. They really are. You have to be suited for it. Cheers. God, thank God it's Friday.
Meanwhile, out in the desert, Yeti's delivery mission is over. His battered truck limps into the settlement of Blackstone. He's late, but at least he's made it. It's just one of half a dozen of these remote communities that will get their last supplies before Christmas from Richo's convoy. Everyone's relieved they've finally made it.
So this is our last truck now until next year.
And the unload is going smoothly. Until the shopkeeper notices something isn't right.
Shouldn't have gone down that far in that short space of time. -7.
After going through hell to get here, this is the last thing Yeti needs.
The ice cream's melting. Obviously not cold enough in the freezer. Oh, yeah. It's running off the pallet.
Oh no, don't say that. What temperature's that freezer running?
Oh, it's been running right all the way out here. Probably about 8, 7, 8.
What's that running at?
It's got to be at -18 or below. We'll have to put a claim in against the trucking company. They'll either refund or replace.
We might have ruined this whole load and that water's hot.
200 kilometres down the road, melting ice cream is the last of Richo's problems.
The crane took a day to get here yesterday, right? So they've charged me for 1 day.
He has a $3,000 a day crane parked and idle because of the washed out road, and he needs to get it back to its owner before it sends him broke.
We can have everything unloaded here tonight and get the crane on its way first thing in the morning.
The deal's done. He'll unload here so he can send the crane back to base and deliver the buildings another time. It's not a perfect result, but at least the food supplies are through in time for Christmas.
This is a different world. You're working for a different customer. It's not an endless money pit out here. You have to do it because you love it. And if you don't, then you wouldn't be here, mate.
After surviving a hair-raising electrical storm and a couple of close encounters with uncooperative car drivers, Claire and Mark are home. They've covered more than 7,000 kilometres, like driving from New York to Los Angeles and then on to Mexico City.
All done. Grabbing our stuff and going home. Cannot wait. It's been a long week, but it's been a good week.
Gonna get wet here.
After a hair-raising 5-day battle taking on tropical thunderstorms, bashing along waterlogged dirt tracks and digging their way out of hopeless bogs.
Isn't it just the worst?
Nick and Joe are in the wilderness at the top of Western Australia. They've made deliveries to the remote camping area of Honeymoon Bay. Now they have to get back home again, and the return journey is proving just as treacherous.
Roads bendy as all hell, big trees and rocks.
Joe's scouting up ahead in the loader, while Nick nurses the truck along a track barely fit for a tractor.
You getting traction? You got it. Yeah, the bloody weather's starting to get a little bit cloudy looking. Today it's hazy white and the clouds are starting to build up.
The wet season rains are all around. It won't take much to cut the road they're on, the only road out.
It'll start sort of closing in now. You'll get a couple of storms every day and they'll just get bigger and bigger, and some days you'll get just a steady
steady flow of rain all day, and then after that, if the road's buggered, you can't get a truck in here at all, or out. Most of the time you can get it in, but then can't get back out. And then it's $10,000, $20,000 to barge your truck out of here.
They're tracking back to where they dropped a trailer earlier to reassemble the road train. Nick and Joe will then be heading home. From near Honeymoon Bay, 500 kilometres back to their home base of Kununurra, most of the journey on dirt.
When there's a thunderstorm brewing in the distance, you don't wait till it starts raining to collect dry firewood for the night.
But before they leave the area, they have an important rescue mission. They're heading to an ex-World War II airfield and the remains of a warplane that crash-landed there 70 years ago.
The crew were flying on a mission up to Columbaroo. What happened is they came into land, and as they touched down, the nose wheel collapsed and it just destroyed the front of the aircraft.
The plane, an American-made B-25 bomber, never flew again. Today, Adelaide aviation enthusiasts Peter Smythe and Ian Lamb want this piece of war history preserved. They've hired Nick and Joe to truck the bomber out of its Outback grave.
You know, I've got my doubts. I don't know if they can do it or not. It's a logistic nightmare. It really is.
I've never actually carved an old bloody wrecked aircraft before, and it's in pretty bad shape by the look of it, so it'll be interesting to see how it actually travels. They don't want to damage it any more than it already is. So hopefully we'll be able to pull it out of the scrub here reasonably easy. It's half buried in the sand and in between bloody trees and all sorts of crap.
It'll be interesting to see when we get it here just what we do get back. From the photos we've seen, it looks like the main sections are there. The wings, the actual nose, the cockpit area, the bomb bay area, and then the rear fuselage.
I'm not sure what this is part of.
But I don't know if that's part of this or part of that one. You've got the photos for it, haven't you?
Yeah, in the truck.
In that particular area, there is another aircraft fairly similar. So we just hope we get the right parts, not half of one aircraft and half of another.
For Nick and Joe, it's a mammoth jigsaw puzzle, one they can't get wrong.
If we take the wrong bits, they've only got permission to take this Dutch bloody aircraft. And if that's not part of it, I could be bloody done for stealing, or it is heritage listed or something like that. I'll get into trouble for taking bits that I haven't got permits for.
In the Darwin depot of Nighthawk Transport, there's a frantic loading operation underway.
Last one just going in now.
It's the week before Christmas.
Couple of lazy boys, eh? Someone's going to have a good Christmas.
Truck driver Bevin Jeffrey is getting ready to play Santa to a handful of remote communities, 800 kilometres away.
Yeah, all the kids at Numbwa will be relying on me to get out there, get all their toys there, keep them happy.
He'll be driving from Darwin down to Katherine and across to the tiny settlement of Numbulwar on the Gulf of Carpentaria.
Remote community probably holds about 500 people. It's only accessible 6 months of the year, pretty much. The other 6 months is pretty wet.
It's the last supply run before Christmas, and Bevin's boss and company owner Jocelyn Dunning
Well, I put that one on top of that one, Bevin, I reckon.
has him loaded up with anything and everything.
We'll have Christmas trees, we'll have groceries of all kinds.
Dry food, freezer food.
Milk, fruit and veg.
Prezzies for the kids and that.
There's building products, there's wheelbarrows, there's doors.
Paint for the painters.
Anything and everything, because we're a general freight carter.
But in northern Australia, the festive season is also the start of the wet season.
Yeah, the weather on the top end, like it's unpredictable. Like today is nice and hot, sunny. Tomorrow could be different, like rain, pissing down rain when we get out there.
We hope it doesn't rain. Worst case scenario, if we got a major downpour, he would get stuck out there, and if we had to get the truck out, if we thought it's not going to dry up in a couple of weeks enough to get it out, we would have to pay for it to come out on a barge. And it could cost us anywhere between 50 and 100 grand to get that truck out.
The road Bevin will be taking is dirt for more than 150 kilometres.
On a good day, to do 149 k's takes us 4 hours. On a bad day, it'll be around 6 or 7 hours. And that's pretty much crawling along. You can get out and walk beside your truck.
Can be pretty rough, bull dust holes, there's river crossings. So depending on the weather, it can be pretty touch and go.
I was going to decorate my truck for the little kids out in the communities. Yeah, I hope the Tencel survives the journey. We don't drive through much rain. It looks pretty good, eh? Looks like Christmas.
Fueling up isn't a quick job either.
Fridges hold about 200 litres each.
Bevin needs enough to get him there and back.
Yeah, the prime mover holds 1,800, so it's at 2,200 litres all up. They're putting on pretty much $3,000 worth of fuel, yeah, to do this trip.
By the time he heads off, the clouds have darkened.
There's a few big storms up ahead. Looks pretty fierce. Could rain any time, I reckon.
Bevin has his own family to play Santa to, but if the sky keeps turning black, he may not get the chance.
We might not get back home for Christmas. Might be stuck out there for a week or so.
Outback Queensland. A lot of country, a lot of space, a lot of freedom. But the vast distances out here can be a curse for the hardy souls who have to travel them.
But if you live out in the bush, you're almost twice as likely to die of heart disease.
She's a special truck.
Alan Creevy is an Outback trucker and a lifesaver.
This is preventative medicine at its best, I think, because it's taken the service where it's needed.
In charge of a rig worth $2 million, a mobile heart clinic.
And this is what I look like in the passenger side, see? So here we go.
Patients in isolated parts of the bush can't easily get to a state-of-the-art clinic. So Alan brings the clinic to them.
If that doesn't work, panic. Light a candle.
Alan doesn't do the dirt, but he definitely does the distance. On this run, a 1,500-kilometre circuit starting in Emerald in central Queensland, heading west to Winton, up to Charters Towers and back down to Moranbah.
People just don't realise how big a country we're living in.
Alan's responsible for the safe transport of delicate, high-tech medical equipment worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. People's lives can depend on it.
It's an enormous responsibility moving this around. You know, at the end of the day, you're not hauling around bales of hay. It's a $2 million rig at the back of that prime mover. You don't want to get to the other end and find things all over the place smashed into pieces.
Making things tougher. At 25 metres long, 3.1 metres wide and 39 tonnes, the clinic pushes the limit of what's permitted on a single trailer.
She's a bit long and a bit ungainly, and it's a big windsock. It just gets a bit of a buck up here.
Alan has big distances to travel between towns.
Some people still travel 5 and 6 hours just to get to see the truck.
And a lot of pressure to keep the clinic on schedule.
On that day, at that time, the curtain rises, the patient turns up, and it's all got to work.
And when the doors open, Alan is still on duty, helping out wherever he can.
This is not part of the job description. Oh, I've got a broken heart. I've broken a few of them in my time, apparently. I was young once.
But it's serious work. A single phone call can change everything.
We've got a call from the doctor to say that the flight's delayed, so that changes our plan.
The next clinic is 300 kilometres away in Winton. Alan sets off, hoping the doctor will make it in time.
When I get to Winton, I'll set her up and we'll hopefully have it all ready for when the doctor arrives. I'll be doing this on my own.
There's so many bits and pieces of a couple of different aircraft.
At the top of Western Australia, Nick and Joe are struggling to find parts of a World War II bomber they've been asked to rescue.
Looking pretty bloody savage out there, that storm. She's really rolling in there. Might even rain Columbaroo here.
They need to get it loaded quickly.
Well, we sort of don't know what parts belong to what plane.
They only have permission to remove the B-25, not any of the other World War II relics.
Do we take that then?
Working only from photos, they have to pick the right pieces from a graveyard of plane wrecks.
God, that looks like too big a wing for that.
The plane parts are light aluminium.
It's pretty flimsy, really.
Loading them without doing more damage will require all of Nick and Joe's skill.
It's fragile, it's delicate, and these guys say they can do it, and if they can, I'll tell you what, then they're bloody good.
Yeah.
First time lifting something like this, way out in the middle of flaming nowhere, digging down the scrub. Pretty excited, actually.
Not super heavy, which is a good thing. Just mind that tree. So far, so good. If they all come out like that, it'll be all right.
That's it.
It's not too bad. See that bit of a branch there? Come on, Geordie. It's a native burrowing frog. Poor little fellow, we've taken his home away. You see, make a new home.
Pieces of the plane are slowly coming together.
Beautiful. Pretty good, really.
Until it's time to move the cockpit. After 70 years, a tree has grown up through it. There are plans to restore the plane. Too much force here could tear a piece of war history apart. In the Northern Territory, a violent tropical storm is bearing down on road train driver Bevin Jeffrey.
There's a few big storms up ahead. Doesn't look good. Yeah, pretty fierce.
He's in charge of a 50-metre rig, delivering 60 tonnes of freight in time for Christmas. If conditions get any worse, he'll be forced to pull over, putting him behind schedule.
Yeah, this time of the year, like December onwards, the next 3 or 4 months, it's like real hot and builds up out in the bush a lot. And the rain can come from pretty much anywhere.
If it's raining like this on the remote dirt road he's heading for, he's in trouble.
So hopefully it doesn't rain on the road what we're going on to tomorrow. It's just all dirt and a lot of black soil.
At the company depot in Katherine, Bevin's seen out the storm. He now has to tackle the toughest part of the trip.
Yeah, this is a good bit of highway. It doesn't last very long.
He's heading deep into the wilds of Arnhem Land, on alert for stray animals, hoping that after last night's rain, his road is nothing like this. Another supply run further north. Once he turns off the main north-south highway, conditions get worse quickly. The road narrows to a single lane. Big rigs travelling at speed, sharing the smooth stuff.
Other road trains, probably a little bit scary when they come up to one.
Squeezing past each other with nothing to spare.
Yeah, he done the right thing.
Bevin isn't just playing Santa on this pre-Christmas run. He's also the postman.
Yeah, first drop off. Flying Fox Station.
It's so remote, he just leaves the delivery out in the open by the side of the road. Or maybe behind a tree for extra security. Bevin's next challenge is a notorious river crossing.
Yeah, you got to make sure you call up before you approach it.
Manoeuvring his oversized rig across a long, narrow and submerged causeway.
It's really slippery. You've got to slack your gear before you get onto it.
It's a river you don't want to get stuck in.
Yeah, if the trailer slips off the crossing, they're in pretty big trouble. Some big lizards in there. Like And by lizards, I mean big saltwater crocodiles, 4.5 metres plus, bigger. And so I'm going to be very careful crossing this river because I don't want to become a crocodile's lunch today and get home for Christmas.
Alan Creevy and his $2 million heart truck are in a hurry.
This is preventative medicine at its best, I think, because it's taken the service where it's needed.
Alan's making the 300-kilometre dash to Winton to meet the doctor and medical team, but their flight's been delayed, possibly cancelled.
I've been a patient myself, and I know how frustrating it is to sit in a doctor's office and wait and wait and wait. So up here we like to make sure that we're on time, and it's disappointing when we're not.
If the doctor doesn't make it, the clinic will be postponed and won't be back in the area for at least another month. Alan has no idea if the doctor and his team will be there to meet him.
When we get there, I'm just going to set up as if the doctor was going to be there. We'll get it all ready for him so he'll hit the ground running. We're in Winton, tropical Winton, 41 degrees today.
He's arrived on time.
This is our landing pad up here.
But still no sign of the team. He'll be setting up on his own.
I'm at a real disadvantage here because I haven't got no one to lean on the button for me, so I've got to sit here and wait for it myself. Okay, I shall drop these legs. I can remember when I first started, I used to panic every time I looked at the setup because I hadn't done it before, I suppose. And there were so many things that could go wrong. But you can still make mistakes. You've got to be on the ball, got to be thinking.
Still no sign of the doctor. Alan could be setting up for nothing.
Okay, just the big doc's room now. Everything's got to be sort of ready for when they kick off. It's time, it's time.
If the doctor doesn't come soon, critical care to this remote town will be lost.
I'll see if I can contact my offsider.
Nick and Joe are doing battle with one of their strangest loads. Trying to free the cockpit of a World War II bomber from a tree that's grown through it.
But it doesn't want to come off that tree at all.
It's history they're trying to preserve here, but the tree is fighting them.
It's not too bad, actually. I mean, all things considering, it's pretty well in one piece. This piece is physically bigger, but it's not full of sand and it's really well reinforced, so it's not really moving at all, which is nice.
Next challenge, getting the fragile cockpit onto the truck without damage.
Yeah, it's not exactly going to be the nicest thing in the bloody cart, I don't think. Easy to get hooked up and the bloody aluminium's going to be rattle around the breeze and corrugations and I'm going to try to see if I can place it all together like it was made on the trailer. Rightio, see how we go. You out there?
Stop!
They're starting to come together. I might put it at home in the paddock. I have a habit of collecting flaming old stuff.
Just trying to get some tyres in the right spots.
It's about the size I thought. It's just a little bit more bulkier than I thought.
The loading has taken a lot longer than expected.
Bit more cloud around anyway.
They need to get going to beat the storms. But then this. A problem with the loading ramp hydraulics.
And the mongrel thing.
Another frustrating hold-up. In the Northern Territory, Bevin's about to attempt a river crossing that has no margin for error.
All the trucks are parked up there, we'll let you through.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Bevin.
The submerged causeway is slippery and narrow.
Trailer could easily tip over sideways.
Demanding caution in a regular vehicle. Extreme caution when you're navigating a road train.
If you do slip off, you'll be stuck here until after next wet season, I reckon.
And a stuck truck could be the least of your worries. The river is home to saltwater crocodiles. The most famous in these parts is this 8-metre monster, christened Old Charlie, one of the biggest crocs ever seen. Thought by locals to still be lurking somewhere in the depths.
Yeah, they stay pretty well camouflaged. It's pretty hard to see until they're biting you. They're making our first big drop-off.
It's a short detour to the small settlement of Urapunga. No one is happier to see him than hamburger chef Tiny.
Without him, we're buggered, mate. We're like waiting on smokes and drinks.
Ice cream.
Everything. If he don't come, well, then people go hungry. But yeah, a few toys for the kids. That'll make them happy. We need him. If it wasn't for Bevin, we'd pretty much all be starving.
But all the Christmas goodwill is costing Bevin time. With extra deliveries to do, he's hours behind schedule. As he heads for the township of Nooka.
Very late.
There it comes.
When Bevin finally arrives, the community is waiting.
15 customers turn up all at once. All ask me the questions at once. Does your head in a little bit. Nearly need a secretary.
Bevin has to keep things moving.
Yeah, this is the best bit, unloading.
He wants to get going before dark.
Yeah, the track, it's pretty hard to negotiate at night time. Like, there's a lot of, it's pretty windy and a lot of sharp corners. Taking out 2 trailers, yeah, you gotta have pretty good precision driving.
The next 150 kilometres are the wildest, with water buffalo, stray horses and other feral animals roaming about. Bevin needs to get going. But a child's Christmas present looks like messing up his plans.
The owner of the quad bike hasn't shown up. Yeah, just looking for a bit of paperwork with a phone number so I can give him a call. They've got that much paperwork, it's unbelievable. Can't leave the quad bike where I am at Nooka because it might get pinched.
He doesn't want to be the Santa who didn't deliver.
The problem is that I might have to take it back to Catherine and the little boy's going to miss out on a really nice Christmas present.
In Outback Winton, an important heart clinic for remote patients could be about to be cancelled.
I'm well, Carol. How are you?
Alan's still trying to find out if the plane carrying the doctor and medical team has arrived.
Mate, whereabouts are you?
Patients may miss out, having to wait at least a month for the clinic's return.
22 k's out. Lovely. I'll see you when you get here, eh? OK, that was the good doctor. He's on board the car and they're about 20 minutes out. So now we hurry up and wait.
Finally, the team arrive, and the doctor is someone Alan knows well.
Dr. Costner was the man that treated me.
8 years ago, he was diagnosed with blocked arteries.
You got here.
We got here.
I went in and Dr. Costner diagnosed a problem and sent me away, and I ended up with 3 stents in my heart. Because he saw what the problem was before the problem became a problem, I've got my life back.
When the clinic's over, Alan's back on trucking duty, getting ready to make the next leg of his journey. But the tyres have caught his attention.
Got a problem with the way the tyres are wearing. they seem to start to wear unevenly. This is all worn lower than the two outer parts of the tread. Haven't worked out the cause of it, and until we do, we've just got to keep an eye on them.
A tyre wearing unevenly risks a blowout.
It's going to be the middle of the day, the heat of the day, so the tyres are going to be tested today, I'm afraid.
It's something Alan and his team will have to watch on the 500 kilometres to their next stop.
Go, 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 Maria.
Hey, boss.
The next leg takes the crew on red-hot outback roads. In searing midday heat that will test the treads to their limit.
We need to keep an eye on these tyres because they get to a certain point and they pop. I'm just looking at the temperature there now. She's right up on the 100 at the moment. So we'll be going down a bit of a slope here in a minute. So hopefully she'll cool down a bit.
Big kangaroo on the road, Alan.
Thank you, Maria. I'll keep an eye out.
The blazing heat makes Alan cautious. With a $2 million specialist trailer to protect, he's slowed right down, putting them behind.
We're running late, unfortunately. I would say we'll have patience waiting for us. Hopefully not too irate. They're possibly sitting there wondering whether or not we're going to turn up at all.
In northwestern Australia, Nick and Joe's efforts to rescue an old warplane are being held up by a broken hydraulic arm.
Mongrel thing.
New fluid is needed.
But of course it would happen in the hottest part of the day, right as we're just about finished and you're just about ready to get excited because you're just about on the road. Just enough time to beat the afternoon storm that's coming in.
The trailer ramps are thick steel, too heavy for a person to lift.
If we get stuck on the way out and we have to unhook to get the loader up to pull ourselves to a bog again, which is likely because we had to on the way in, and it just makes your day harder, you know.
It's a delay they can't afford.
Glad to have that all loaded and done. And now the fun part, we'll see how it travels.
There are half a dozen bog holes between them and home. All they need is a sudden downpour, and Nick and Joe could be stranded.
There's a couple of big storms out there. There's one out here, there's one there, there's one here. They're all, and they can all be rain bearing, so it's pretty well all in the direction that we're heading, just on the other side of Columbaroo.
They build up that bloody quick, and then, yeah, everything turns to shit then. From a dry road comes a very slippery road. Because we've had a fair bit of rain already, you know, the country, it's actually pretty damn actually. But we'll see how we go. We might make it, we might not.
Hard, dry roads are a problem too. The bumps shaking the fragile 70-year-old plane around.
It seems to be travelling all right so far, but mind you, I've only done like 7k. That piece is slowly ripping off. So far, so good. Ball goal, and I hope it's not deep because we're going to give it a lap. Through that one bog hole out the road and done.
But next, the killer.
We're a bog hole just up here, and I'm hopefully we'll either see if we can pick a track around it or just leg it straight through it. Well, we got stuck in this one the other day.
It's the place where it all came undone when they tried to plough through a few days ago.
Dirty bastard.
They were stuck for hours.
Great way to wreck a day. Still think we should go around this bog hole. We were so stuck in it the other day, and even though we've had a few days of sort of fairly sunny weather to dry out, it's pretty soft.
Hang on, dear. I'm going straight through the middle.
I would say we'll have patience waiting for us.
Alan's heart truck is running late. People having to wait, something he hates.
Well, if you want to duck ahead, you can do that, Maria. You get up to speed and you can appease them there for a minute while I get in and set up. We're running late, unfortunately.
At Charters Towers, Alan's under pressure to set up fast.
Try the other way, huh? Only when you're in a hurry.
Also waiting at this stop, Bill McColl, who's brought along his father, Alan.
Well, he's 99 years of age and everything, and it's a big help keeping things on track.
G'day, mate. How are you?
They're typically grateful clinic patients
You just stand back a little and
who've come a long way to see the heart doctor.
Hour and a half drive, lots of time, big expense.
Thank you.
Alan, how have you been? You've got a big birthday coming up, I hear. So tell us, what's your secret to get to 99 years without major problems? And don't tell me it's a bandy rum every evening. Look, I'm quite happy with everything. Tika is working exactly as it should.
Oh, that's everything. I'm gonna tell you that's good.
Look, apart from his osteoarthritis from working hard all his life, his heart is probably as good as yours and mine, believe it or not. And, you know, from a heart point of view, he could live for another 100 years.
All the best for Christmas.
Hey, Alan. Merry Christmas. Okay. It's great to see this service go out to the bush, and young fellas that normally wouldn't come to see a specialist are coming to see the truck because it's there. And so they get fixed, and they're not going to die beside the fence post in the back paddock, you know. It's a great service.
Tell him back. We're pushing now.
Bevin's racing the clock to get his Christmas deliveries to a remote community.
We're about 2 hours behind schedule.
But he can't go anywhere until he finds who ordered this quad bike.
Yeah, just looking for a bit of paperwork with a phone number.
And didn't turn up to claim it.
So I can give him a call.
This Christmas present's about to get returned before it's even been opened.
I might have to take it back to Catherine.
Just when he's about to give up.
Hey, Daniel, you know who owns that quad bike, that Rennell Rogers? Yeah, that's a bit of a bonus. Daniel knows who owns a quad bike, and yeah, the little kid's going to be happy tonight. He'll think Daniel's Santa Claus. I think he'll take it down there for him.
With light fading fast, Bevin's hours behind schedule. He still has 150 kilometres to go.
Yeah, the track, it's pretty hard to negotiate night time. It's pretty windy and a lot of sharp corners.
It's not worth the risk. He'll tackle the last leg in the morning. Even in daylight, it's slow going.
Yeah, you've got to have a bit of patience.
This last 150 kilometres can take a day to travel. If you don't run into any trouble.
Yeah, the bull dust, it makes life pretty tough. Pretty much like talcum powder. Drive through it and yeah, it just puffs up. Makes the visibility poor. Wherever you pull up, see a water hole and that, go wash your face and that. There'd more than likely be a crocodile in it. Yeah, so it's not a very good idea to go near any of these water holes out here on this road. They've all pretty much got a saltwater crocodile in them.
Bevin's now a day behind schedule.
Yeah, I had to slow right down now and yeah, just hope the road don't get any worse than this. Yeah, could be behind time again.
And the people of Numbulwar are starting to worry this last delivery before Christmas isn't going to happen.
Well, there's a heap of people here. Yeah, we were expecting the truck to come in yesterday, but obviously it didn't turn up.
Well, I've got 5 blokes here painting. It cost me a small fortune to keep them here, you know, as they've got no gear to paint with. Don't help, does it?
I absolutely need the Christmas presents for the little children, because if they don't have them and we leave today, they're going to cry.
Down the track, it's rough going. Bevin's not making up any time. Until he gets a Christmas present of his own. A grader smoothing the road.
Travelling well, getting a couple of bumps out of the road.
Ah, you done a pretty good job back there. Ah, nice.
Yeah, thanks, mate. We'll catch you on the return.
Yeah, too easy, mate. Yeah, well, timing couldn't be better. Been bouncing over this road all year. Been waiting for that grader. Yeah, a long time. It's good to see him out here now. Made my day.
After 2 days of bone-rattling bashing through the wilderness, Bevin finally pulls into Numbulwar. A day late, but it smiles all round.
Oh, wonderful. That stuff's here.
Yeah.
Beauty, brother. Come on, mate.
Yeah, I think everybody's happy to see me. I'm getting the last bit of gear before Christmas and...
Santa's arrived, and Christmas can proceed in one of the remotest places on Earth.
Very, very happy to see the truck.
Hopefully there's 6 boxes there.
Right? Yep. Lazy boys are ladies' present for Christmas. I'm just doing the delivery. I'm Santa Claus.
Wouldn't be much of a fun Christmas without nappies.
Feel very satisfied today. Like, got into Numbulwar and everyone got their stuff, what they've ordered, and seeing the smiles on their face, and it made me happy to make them happy. And now I can go home to my lovely wife and kids and, yeah, enjoy Christmas myself.
Hang on, dear. I'm going straight through the middle. What are you worrying about, dear? Absolutely nothing. See?
Nick and Joe have beaten the bog that sunk them last time.
You happy with that, dear?
Next up, the Carson River. Fearsome in full flow, but not today.
The castle's just trickling.
It's a good sign, but just up ahead, this isn't.
I'd like to go straight through here, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able because it certainly looks a little bit boggy.
A track around the bog is too close to trees.
And that plane probably won't fit under there either.
Nick scouts an alternative route. He's looking for drier ground, but the path is untried.
I could probably sneak around through here, I think.
He has little choice but to risk the detour.
There's enough room in here. I should be able to sneak a triple around through there, I think. If I'm wrong, I'll sink to the arse.
Setting off into virgin scrub.
Hope it's not wet.
It's a gamble, a path barely suitable for a four-wheel drive.
Yeah, we'll do a bit of scrub bashing through here.
Nick's trying to get a 50-metre, 42-wheeler road train through.
But I've just got 3 trailers on. It's not really designed for 3 trailers through this track.
The ground looks firm enough, but under the weight of 50 tonnes, it could be a very different story.
Being very light, we've got to get out so wide off this little 2-wheel track anyway, and you know, we could just sink to the arse in one of these little low pockets here, but so far so good. We've only got like 100, 200 yards to go. It's more than halfway through.
Bloody beautiful. That just saved a couple of hours mucking around, unhooking and hooking back up. We're safely back on the road now. Just got to get around this bloody bend here. I know what everybody's worrying about. Bloody hell. Rightio, we're on a home run now. 1 bog hole. Another couple to go and we're done. Last little obstacle for the day, this jump up. We just got to unhook here. We never get up it, so I won't even try to get up. I just can't get enough bloody pace up to fly up there. Oh, I've got a plane on the back. I could fly up there. Oh!
Before the hill, it's a chance to see if the bomber has survived through all the turbulence.
No, it finally broke off that bit of tin. I think a lot more is going to be snapped by the time we get there, I think.
Everything needs to be battened down for the hill climb ahead. One trailer at a time.
Occasionally you can get stuck even with one on.
Nick needs to keep his momentum up.
Bumpy at the top and you lose traction really easy on the rocks.
He's fighting this hill.
the smoothest of bloody hills, this. Come on, old girl. Come on, baby. That's getting bad. Bloody rocky as all hell. No good for my drive tyres.
He's losing the battle.
Dirty mongrel thing.
Back at the bottom of the hill, the bomber they're trying to rescue is not out of the woods yet. In Perth, Western Australia, Outback legend Steve Graham is gearing up for another mammoth mission.
The road's open. It's officially the wet season now.
He's heading for the remote community of Columbaroo in Australia's tropical north. On board his road train, urgently needed building materials. With the wet season about to break, Steve's not taking any chances.
I haven't had my old shovel on board all year. Well, I got my shovel here and I got my chain, so I should be right. This load's good to go. We'll get on with it. It's the start of another trip, and hopefully this rain down here indicates that there's no rain up there. I can't believe I'm always going on about the weather, but plays hell with my life.
Heading north at this time of year is a big risk, even for this veteran trucker.
I'd be stupid if I said I wasn't nervous about it. I'm nervous about it.
Steve's journey will take him from Perth through the heart of Western Australia to the remote community of Columbaroo. In all, he'll clock up a massive 6,000 kilometres getting there and getting back. Like driving from Paris to Pakistan.
There's been some rain up there already on that Columbaroo road. When you look at the sky on a morning like this morning and you think about this trip and the time of the year, you do get a sense of déjà vu.
Steve has a right to be concerned. He's heading for the same stretch of track that last year saw him bogged for 6 whole weeks.
Part of my business is based on that commitment to delivery no matter where you are. You've got to make a living and you can't not go because it might rain. The worst it could get is my gear is trapped in there for the wet season. There is my personal income done and dusted for the next 5 months, 6 months, whatever it takes to get it out.
To make it to Columbaroo, it's a 5-day haul. And the further north he goes, the storm clouds keep building.
We've turned onto the Gibb River Road, and there's a classical wet season build-up cloud. We're heading straight into them now, and we'll get rain up here somewhere, without a doubt. Looks like we haven't got steak for tea tonight. Not fresh steak anyway. And here it is. This is just the first shower. This is the first shower for down here. I did not need to be turning my wipers on just yet. It's all very well to be prepared for it, and it's all very well to know that it's probably going to happen. But when it hits you in the face like that, it just brings it home like a smack.
Riding solo on these dirt roads is too risky. Old mate Steve Kirkham will join the battle, which could be closer than they think.
I don't like the sound of that thunder at all.
In Katanning, Western Australia, heavy haulage expert Yogi is about to begin an important cross-continental run.
This one going to Melbourne for us is a big one. It puts a bit of pressure on me in the truck. It has to happen because, yeah, we need to find work.
Christmas is just days away. Wife Amanda and the kids will be flying in to meet Yogi in Melbourne, the city where he grew up.
No one knows we're coming yet. We haven't told them we're coming over there.
Yogi wants to surprise his parents with a Christmas visit. But he's got another mission, delivering hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of farming machinery on the way. Precious income for his new business. From Katanning, Yogi's heading east to Strathalbyn in South Australia for his first drop. From there, it's on to Melbourne to deliver a second load. In all, it's a vast 3,500 kilometre haul, like driving from New York to Las Vegas. And on this trip, Yogi's got extra stress. The axle bearings on his beloved truck, PJ, have been overheating. A part to fix them hasn't arrived.
I want it fixed, but at the end of the day, we've got a good possibility of making some good money and ending up in Victoria for Christmas. So if it fails, it'll need to be either trucked back or towed back. So that would be quite a significant cost to me and quite hard to do 2-3 days before Chrissy.
It's a big gamble for Yogi. If PJ breaks down, he and his freight could end up spending Christmas stuck in the Outback. The rescue and repair bills could break his business.
Yeah, you take risks in life, I guess, and at the end of the day, it's a pretty big risk, but we want to make it. I want to get there for the freight, I want to get there for the truck, but at the end of the day, I want to be home for my family. Family's everything.
And there's another load Yogi must deliver, no matter what.
Righto, just put some presents away.
Come here, little munchkin.
It'll be 4 days until Yogi's supposed to meet up with the family in Melbourne.
You just laugh, don't you?
If he doesn't make it, there'll be no dad and no presents for Christmas.
Righto.
In Central Australia, Russell McDonough is bracing himself for another desert scrap. Russell's passion and business is recycling car wrecks. His master weapon is his mobile crusher. It's been a hard year. Russell's had a run of bad luck that's nearly ruined him.
I thought I was bulletproof, but something caught up to me.
A serious lung infection cost him months off work.
Even once I was better, I still wasn't better enough to go to work.
And the bog from hell almost sent him broke.
It's actually a fair blow to us financially.
Russell's desperate to make up lost time and money. He's risking his health to brave the desert heat in the height of summer.
Yeah, the chips are down, but
We know it's harsh, and we've got to try and be as ready as we can.
From Alice Springs, Russell's heading 215 kilometres northeast to the remote community of Harts Range. By his side is 19-year-old Rowan. Russell took him under his wing at the age of 10.
Taught me how to get little things to work and fix this and you fix that.
Having driven from Adelaide, trucking mates Buddy and Ben have also come to the rescue.
I've got 2 road trains accompanying out to bring the crushed cars home.
What do you do? Like, oh, I'm not making money, so I can't help my mate out, so you sit back and watch your mate go down? I don't think so.
Russell's hoping Harts Range will provide enough cars to fill 6 trailers. Any delays on this job will cost the whole crew. Just out of Alice Springs, the outside temperature has already hit 50 degrees, and the road is even hotter.
it gets that hot that you couldn't walk on it barefooted. It nearly melts thongs. Could be anywhere 80, 90 degrees.
It's not just footwear that's at risk of melting. The blazing sun has claimed its first victim.
It's just one ear that's blown.
In the tropical Kimberley region, the wet season's about to break. Up here, 2 metres of rain can fall in a day.
It's not good. It's
Steve Graham and mate Steve Kirkham are taking on the dirt track to Columbaroo. They know that if weather turns bad, so will the road.
We had rain last night, which is, it's worrying, it's scary, this weather. It's like it's going to rain for a couple of days, so I don't like it at all.
Steve's load of building materials is light. To stabilise his truck, he's hauling his mate's load of heavy concrete. It's Steve's last trip before the torrential rain is due. but the wet's already giving him headaches.
There was enough rain so that the clay will have us slipping and sliding and losing traction. I don't like this one little bit.
After the mud, another problem. Deep corrugations, slowing Steve to walking pace.
There's about 5 kilometres of this stretch that I'll do at this speed, which is 4 kilometres an hour.
On a road this rough, the load takes a constant hammering.
Oh, I can see a strap's broken or come loose back there on that bloody steel.
But the biggest test is the long, steep hills or jump-ups. Taking on these means fighting gravity and the dirt in a 100-ton truck. For extra power, the two Steves hook both rigs together. But even with 2 trucks, it's going to be a brutal climb.
This is our nemesis. This is the feeder jump up. Every truckie hates it.
When you're ready.
Coming off the clutch now, coming off now, and we're off. Now I've got to stay very focused for this hill, and I'm going to wind out my window just so I pick up any wheel traction. Just don't want to break anything here.
Steve's now got 5 fully loaded trailers behind him. Both trucks must keep momentum. One lapse in concentration and they could lose traction and grind to a shuddering halt.
Here we go.
Yogi's cross-country run is finally underway. At 3,500 kilometres, it's one of the longest trips an Aussie trucker can make.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous at the moment. I'll get nervous when I get past Esperance. I'll get even more nervous when I turn right at Norseman, and yeah, then we sort of know you're out there by yourself.
Yogi's biggest concern is his truck's axle bearing problem.
I'm just gonna pull over here.
After just a few hours, he wants to check his wheel temperatures.
42, just checking the wheel bearings. 39.
Yogi's mechanics warned him anything over 50 degrees could be dangerous.
That one over there is the problem one, the 42.
And now, Yogi's discovered a new problem.
On the back chains on the gears, it just give me a bit of a flutter, and she's telling me something's wrong, you know, so you got to listen to PJ. Good girl. You know, look, it's all good.
Yogi suspects his fuel lines are blocked.
Truck is giving me a little bit of a flutter on the back throttle.
Ahead is 1,100 kilometres of nothing. If he's to make the crossing safely, he needs to get the problem checked out now.
Fuel problems are not a thing you want to have out in the middle of nowhere, so.
If the news is bad, his beloved truck and his journey could be in serious trouble.
Yep. Oh, right to go.
The diagnosis is good.
Put it on the computer and found there's no fault codes or anything like that, so feeling a bit better about it all, but time will tell.
But no sooner is Yogi back on the road.
I just did it, just missed again there.
PJ's throttle is fluttering again. And now, Yogi's heart is too.
Oh, I don't know what to do. This is maybe an injector, unless it's internal, or it might even be a fuel pump on the way out. It just doesn't make me feel as comfortable at all going out here like this now. It's not sitting pretty at all, so. And I just, don't know what to do.
The infamous Nullarbor Plain lies ahead. Yogi must choose. Turn back to safety and he'll miss his delivery and Christmas. Push on and he risks being stranded in the desert. Outside Alice Springs, Russell McDonough has blown a tyre in scorching heat.
It's just one here that's blown.
While the temperature's rising, so is the pressure to get moving.
Still got heaps to do today.
Apprentice Rowan has drawn the short straw.
Young fella's still paying his dues. They get to drop, then I got to change all the tyres on it.
After losing precious time, the convoy pushes on to the dirt.
We are going into desert country. The main thing we try and do is not break anything.
Russell's now a long way from help, and the bitumen's been left behind in a cloud of dust. Finally, the convoy pulls into Hart's Range. The fate of Russell's business lies here, rusting in the dirt. And he may have hit the jackpot.
Well over 100 cars here, I haven't gone and counted yet.
This junk pile could be worth $25,000. But to turn metal into money, the team must get to work. The first job is to get the crusher off its trailer. Russell lowers its supporting legs, but straight away there's a problem. One of the legs is jammed.
It's not like having a piece of machinery break down in town and you can go to the shop and buy a new part.
If he can't fix it, it's game over for Russell. Steve Graham's giving it his all to get up a notorious hill.
Just a touch more, mate.
Even with the grunt of a second truck behind, he's barely crawling. It's a difficult manoeuvre, even for two veteran truckers.
He's a good man on the end of the bar back there. He knows what he's doing. If you have a bloke on the bar behind you that gives too many revs or not enough, he makes your life miserable.
But with precision teamwork...
Right, we're over that hill.
Steve's conquered this notorious jump up and saved precious time.
I'm always relieved when I get that one out of the way.
While he's over one big hurdle, the road ahead is full of bad memories.
As I come around the bend is where my trailers and dollies sank out of sight. Right here.
This was the scene of Steve's worst nightmare. This time, he's in luck.
Now, I'm glad I'm over that little spot. It took me nearly 3 weeks to get from theatre to this spot, and I've just done it this morning in about 3 hours. I'll be bloody glad to get in and get out.
After a mammoth 3,000 kilometres, Steve's finally made it to Columbaroo.
It's a sense of achievement every time you roll in the gate.
But his work is far from done. Tomorrow, he must turn around and do it all again.
And get out of here and beat that rain and get off this bloody road.
But storm clouds are building. Steve needs to unload and get out fast. Yogi's truck has been playing up. He's worried he could be stranded on a desolate highway for Christmas. His mechanical problems are holding off for now.
Truck feels all right at the moment.
So Yogi's made a decision.
We're going to do it.
Yogi wants to make it to Melbourne for his freight, but most of all, for his family.
It could turn pear-shaped, it could be all good. And I made the calculated decision to get a load over there, and at the end of the day, yeah, I just want to be there with my family, you know. I don't see enough of them as it is.
This Christmas, there's one family member Yogi really wants to see.
My dad's been a real good inspiration to me over the years. He's taught me a lot about driving and work ethics, and just an all-round good dad. Like, yeah, and unfortunately he's got Lewy bodies, form of dementia, so at 61. So yeah, it really cuts me in half, you know, and I probably don't really know how to deal with it, I suppose, at the moment.
After a long day, Yogi's made it to an Outback truck stop.
Send Amanda a quick text.
While he wants to send a message to his wife, out here, even the basics aren't easy.
No service. I'll see you in the morning. Journey, here we come.
Today, Yogi faces the longest dead straight road in Australia, all 90 miles of it.
I'm really worried about this middle bit.
Yeah.
Breakdown out here and help is a day away. The bill for a tow would be massive.
It literally is in the middle of nowhere now. It makes me go a little bit quiet. We are coming up to the South Australian, West Australian border.
That's 1 stake down and 2 to go. Yogi's first delivery is still 800 kilometres away.
It's just straight, it's just flat, it's just going that way.
But suddenly, an old problem with his truck PJ is back.
Temperature's just come up a little bit. Check the axles.
And there's bad news.
Front one on this side, 61.
Yogi's wheel temperatures are 10 degrees over the safety mark. The consequences could be disastrous.
Worst case scenario, it'll burn, catch fire, and we lose PJ.
In the remote Australian desert, Russell McDonough's car crusher is stuck on its trailer. It's refusing to do its party piece, lift itself onto the ground. A support leg is jammed. Russell needs to pry it free fast.
I'm going to have to lift the crusher up and I'll put that chain around the bottom of the leg.
Rowan will use the loader to try and pull the leg out without damaging Russell's pride and joy. With the leg free, Russell's ready to try again. Slowly, the 25-ton giant rises up.
Let's go crush some cars.
The temperatures are now scorching and the air thick with dust.
It's about 45 degrees out here. That's why we're all huffing and puffing.
But Russell battles on. Late in the day, and there's another problem with the crusher.
We've got a problem with this thing going down on one end.
It stopped crushing on one side.
Just going through some of the electrical connections that have been out in the weather.
Russell suspects it could be a faulty electrical switch or solenoid.
Using this thing we call a test light, it's indicating that power is getting to the solenoid. On some occasions, the solenoid doesn't pull down. It's becoming quite clear the solenoid's faulty.
Replacement parts are a day away. Right now, the crusher's chewing up time and money.
The solenoid's Without that solenoid, the crusher stops. Without the crusher, the whole program stops.
In the vast expanse of the Kimberley region, Steve Graham's about to begin his 3,000-kilometre journey home to Perth. The wet season is imminent. It's a frantic race to load up and head south.
And I'm reloading these bits and pieces all around town. Excavator attachments there, cable roller there, container here.
If the heavens open, the road out will close, and Steve's livelihood would be reined in for months.
Everyone all over town is throwing stuff at us to try and get it out before the rain comes. We're working out the weights and we're putting all this stuff on the road trains and we'll get it all together today, tomorrow sometime and go. Doesn't matter.
Squeezing the freight onto his truck is a superhuman feat.
Steve Graham, the Houdini of freight, to make that fit.
You know, it was tight, but it fits.
There's a tough journey ahead. Steve's bracing for the worst.
We're expecting more rain before we get out, and we know we're going to have trouble on those jump-ups.
To beat the dreaded jump-ups, Steve's called in even more horsepower.
We've got another road train coming in. We've got Stewie coming in. We will go out the 3 trucks together. Some of those jump-ups on the reverse side are worse than the forward side coming in.
And if 3 truck engines aren't enough...
I have got a secret weapon. I've got an excavator to take out, and that's part of the reason I'm here at this time of the year, because that will be our saver if we get caught on the way out. The day is eroding. I can see build-up. There's clouds coming up over those hills over there right now.
With rough roads, jump-ups and bad weather, Steve's taking on everything the Outback can throw at him. On an isolated stretch of road in South Australia, Yogi's axles are still running dangerously hot.
We basically just made it one end of the bike to the other.
Help is 1,000 kilometres away. Yogi's been forced to drop his speed and cool his wheels. As he limps into the town of Ceduna, his worries for his truck, PJ, are growing.
If it collapses and fails, well, obviously we don't make it and we need to be towed. 56 as well.
His axle bearing temperatures are still too high. Time for dinner and another job for his temperature gun.
Oh, 62. I don't mind city driving, I guess, you know, it's just becomes part and parcel of the job, you know.
Yogi's finally made it to Adelaide, but with a big city comes a big problem.
We are coming up the big Adelaide Hill.
Ahead, a 10-kilometre incline.
It's hard on the gear and we are 100% boost, full throttle. That's why I got such big calf muscles. Trucks just got really hot really quick because we're going straight up.
With PJ's engine and axles going into the red, Yogi's on high alert.
On about 98. Well, obviously don't want to cook the motor going up here. 100 degrees, boils. Come on, big girl.
And the throttle problem is back.
Oh, and she just give a little bit of a flutter.
At a lonely desert junkyard, Russell McDonough's car crusher is lifeless.
The solenoid's faulty.
A solenoid that triggers the machine's downward pressure has failed.
Yeah.
Every hour spent trying to fix it is an hour Russell's not crushing, costing time and money.
With these 2 road trains that are here to help me, I sort of don't want to muck them around, you know. I've got to just keep at it and get the job done.
Russell needs all his mechanical skills to bring his crusher back to life.
We've got a medium-sized shifter and need that socket set.
And out here, if you can't fix it, find it.
There's a chance that there's something fairly similar on one of these cars to operate their starter motor.
It's Russell's only hope. While he removes the faulty solenoid, Rowan scours the junkyard for a replacement.
Found one. Just going to pull it off and take it over there, clean it up and see if it works.
Russell's in luck.
Have to go welding this back onto the plate over here.
Time for some bush mechanics.
When you touch 2 battery leads together, it sparks. So we're going to try and just meld a piece of wire and actually make it work like a welding rod.
Ladies and gentlemen, dinner on 10 minutes today. Welding rod.
With his improvised welding kit, Russell gets to work.
Definitely not the prettiest weld, but that's on there well enough. We'll put it on and see if it works.
There's a treasure trove of scrap for the taking. Russell must revive his crusher and his hopes.
Very good. Oh, looks like I'm not seeing.
Steve Graham's convoy.
Righto, fellas, we'll go.
is fully loaded and ready to head south.
The 3 road trains going out together, we're putting aside our independence and going out as a group so that we can help each other through the bad stuff.
Not far out of Columbaroo, he faces another old foe.
That jump up there doesn't look much from here, but believe me, from bitter experience, that is a real handful. This is where we're going to hook the three road trains together. If we didn't have the bars, we'd be pulling these trailers over. We'd pull one trailer over, come back and get the other one. There's 8 trailers or something here. It'd be half a day's work getting these 3 road trains over here. And we'll do it in half an hour. Touch wood.
With all 3 trucks hooked up, Steve's at the helm of a massive 140-metre road train.
Right, and we all got our diff locks in?
Yeah, when you're ready.
Coming off the clutch now, coming off now, and we're off.
1,600 horsepower of muscle must pull the 300-ton convoy.
Right, I'm getting a bit of wheel spin, fellas. You can have a tiny bit more, Steve.
Steve's at the top, but there's still 200 tons of road train lagging behind. Suddenly, the tow bar connecting the 3rd truck has snapped.
Broke the ring on one of the tow bar things, yeah.
A steep jump up is a dangerous place to get stranded.
This is a serious business and this is what can happen, and we're going to have to get moving because he's got air holding brakes on that hill.
If the brakes give way, the whole road train could slide out of control. The Adelaide Hills are giving Yogi's truck PJ a severe test.
Come on, big girl.
She's holding up so far, but only just.
Truck's bit nice, we're only just holding about 95. Oh, we're there, bud. You're beauty.
Finally, after 2,500 kilometres, Yogi's almost at his first delivery.
Give a little bit of a sigh of relief. We're actually nearly there.
It won't be long before he'll see his wife and kids.
Hello. Wow. We get half the freight off, that'll be fantastic.
Half the job's done, but Yogi can't relax. The long, steep hills pushed PJ to her limit.
The diff's still running hot, front axle's still running hot.
And there's still 700 kilometres to go before he hits Melbourne. Yogi's hoping a nearby mechanic can solve his problems once and for all.
I spoke to him this morning first thing and might be able to get to the bit of the bottom of the problem, Just put it over the pits to have a look at, just adjust the brakes and have a look at underneath. And they found a couple of other problems under there, a couple of loose bolts on the sway bar, so they just tightened them up.
After a quick once-over, there's bad news.
They've sort of come back to me with a bit of a solution to the fuel problem, and it could very well mean that we might have to leave the truck here.
With another load still to deliver, abandoning his truck is a big call. But if Yogi keeps going, PJ could be damaged beyond repair. Russell McDonough is battling to bring his stalled crusher back to life.
That'd be the right length.
With his business on the line, he's under huge pressure to get it working. Finally, the moment of truth. At last, the team can get back to work.
After all the delays, it's a flat-out race to feed the crusher.
Just had to keep going, otherwise it just sort of wouldn't happen in the time schedule that these truckies that have come out to help me needed it done.
In these conditions, heat stroke is a constant threat.
The heat is getting to all of us.
But Russell has no choice but to push on. After 3 exhausting days in a living hell, every last wreck has been crushed and stacked. And Russell's mates were there when he needed them most.
Russell was real cool. He's sort of that stubborn bloke that won't ask for it. You just got to rock up and do it like these guys have.
Definitely made a difference having these boys help. Just really takes the pressure off.
We all stick together. Like, true mates are hard to find in the transport industry.
The main part of my life is, well, my friends and my work.
Russell's battled the dust, the heat, and fixed his way out of near disaster. He's made it through a mammoth salvage operation, bringing home $25,000 worth of scrap.
Very big job, and of course when you finish one, you're always quite happy that you've done it.
The Alice Springs Scrap Metal King and his crusher are back. With his truck and freight grounded, Yogi's made a tough decision.
The idea of them fixing a few more things while they've got time, it's going to cost me more money. Everything costs money, but I think it's going to be the best solution.
Walking away from an unfinished job is hard. He's postponed delivery until after Christmas. But Yogi can't delay his other load of freight, the Christmas presents.
A little bit wet.
And Yogi's new ride? A hire car. His only deadline now is Christmas with the family.
We didn't deliver on the truck. I feel a bit shattered about that. Showing off the truck to my family as well. They haven't seen the truck. So it's been a massive decision to actually leave the truck out there 500 k's from Melbourne. Well, I can't believe we made it to Melbourne town. It's been a long and fairly stressful sort of trip for me, really. Supposed to go to the left or to the right? What are you so bad of?
Daddy.
Hello. How you going?
I know I was good, but I don't know about it.
Oh, I went down to cut him. What?
After 3,500 kilometres, Yogi's got one more trip to make. A surprise visit to his parents.
Oh, Merry Christmas! Hey! Oh, Georgia! You're gonna love it!
Don't get me off. Well, we better get some brekkie organised, can't we?
What you better?
Just to put a smile on my dad's face. I was just struggling with his dementia and all that type of stuff, you know. I struggle big time. How we're at with today, like the effort that we put in's all worth it. We didn't see the family and, you know, just the tears are flowing and still wiping the tears out of my eyes, you know. So yeah, it's bloody good.
Outside Columbaroo, Steve Graham's convoy of road trains is stranded on a steep jump up. A steel tow bar has snapped. The only hope now is a much weaker length of chain.
Righto, we'll give it another go. Coming off the clutch now, coming off, and we're into it.
While the convoy's over the jump up, the Bishop's boat has slipped.
Stewie's got a problem with the Bishop's boat, so we all best fix it or Stewie will go to hell.
It's all hands on deck.
Lift and push backwards, a 1, a 2 and a 3.
And again.
A 1, a 2 and a 3. Look at that. We're going to lift that back in, get those wheels back under this hull here.
Yeah, we're hanging off it. Not much is happening.
There's not enough muscle to secure the boat. It's a job for Steve's secret weapon.
Keep it going, keep it going. That's it. We should bring a secret weapon every trip.
This job has cost valuable time.
And the weather's building. We got build-up happening.
And last night's heavy rain has left the ground saturated.
Coming off, let's go. Stewie, come back with that chain, will you?
Getting bogged here is the last thing Steve needs.
Get the other truck to come back over the hill, we'll put a chain on. All right, we'll give it a go. Let's go, fellas, let's go. Just idle away like this now, that's nice and cool.
At last, Steve can breathe a sigh of relief. And it's time to say goodbye to his mates.
And we're going to go our separate ways at this point in time.
It's been another epic journey by the 67-year-old legend who just keeps on outback trucking.
You know, I can't see myself taking on other forms of trucking at this late stage of life. I'm quite happy doing bushwork. So this is a pretty good office when things are going along all right. It's not a bad view. The point is, it is outback trucking and happens.